my story for today is, this story takes place in a haunted train tunnel where there was a very bad train accident back in the late 1800s, right after they just put the rail tracks down and someone didn't assemble the tracks properly, and a passenger train came roaring through the tunnel and the track let go and the passenger train derailed, going 95 miles an hour right in the middle of the tunnel. There was the loudest bang you ever heard. There were people screaming and yelling. There was fire everywhere inside. All kinds of dead people on and off the train. The smoke that filled the tunnel was so dark you couldn't even see inside. As the safety crowd made their way, they said they could feel the heat. It was so extreme. They had to wait hours to get in as they listened to the people scream and die. But it was much too hot to get anyone in to help. So after the smoke cleared and the heat subsided, they finally got in to find the worst scene they ever seen in their lives. There were no survivors now. There were bodies on fire, body parts everywhere, and the tunnel itself was coming apart piece by piece. It was a devastation that the cleanup crew will never forget. Now we move on to 2017. A group of people decide that they are going to go investigate this very haunted tunnel, which is almost a mile long and was very dark inside. The group of 5 call themselves the Spirit Insiders. They go to this tunnel, which is located in San Francisco. They all get there and set up a call center outside the tunnel with monitors that are going to be hooked up to all the cameras they are carrying, and also all the cameras they are setting up way down the tunnel, along with recorders to watch and listen for live voices as well. So after they set up the cameras and recorders, they come out and get set up into a small group, 2 to 3 at a time, and the others will watch as they go through and do their investigations. But as they're getting ready, they see what looks like a fire inside the tunnel on one of the monitors, along with 2 black masses walking around inside. They are all watching on the night vision cameras located in the middle of the tunnel. Now, the first group are getting ready to check their radios and make sure that they are good with the people at the call center watching the monitors. And off they go, walking inside the tunnel. It's very dark in there, so their flashlights don't go very far, and their night vision cameras are only picking up what's really close to them. As they proceed down the tunnel, they start hearing really loud noises that sound like something crashing, but there isn't anything there. They start hearing screaming like there are people running around hurt, but as far as they can see, there isn't anyone anywhere. Then they notice 2 adult apparitions come through on the night vision. Jason, the leader, starts to ask questions to the apparitions. What happened down here? He sticks out his recorder, which is recording live time. All of a sudden, they hear a voice come through and say, "Train accident." Then Jason asks, "How many of you are down here?" They pause for a couple minutes. A woman comes through and says, 13 of us here. Then they stop talking. The group of 3 continue down the tunnel. Then, out of nowhere, a couple bricks come flying and hit the wall. They hear an audible voice say, "Get out!" Now, they are a little concerned, but continued on a little bit further when they get a call from the call center telling them that it looks like a train is coming straight for them. But they can't hear anything. But the call center tells them to get out right away. So Jason tells the other 2, "Let's go," and they start running to get out when they start hearing what sounds like a train whistle and the roar of a train engine. So they start running faster to get out of the tunnel. They come to the opening where They come in, and all of a sudden, the noises stop, and the train they seen on the night vision monitor was gone. Wow, it scared them pretty good. So now it was the second group's turn to go in and see what kind of evidence they can get. And they know that the others were already warned to get out. Since there was only two of them, Jason agrees to go with them, and the others now sit at the call center table watching the monitors for things ahead of them or behind them, as well as noises and voices they hear off the night vision cameras set up inside. As the three are walking back in, they start hearing footsteps walking ahead of them. So they radio to the call center and ask if they see anything ahead of them. They say no, nothing. So they keep walking, and now they're hearing voices talking to each other, like there's a bunch of people ahead in the dark. They are now getting a little scared, but continue. Then, out of nowhere, they see what looks like about 10 apparitions standing just close enough for them to see them with their flashlights and a night vision camera. One voice speaks and says, "We are all dead." The three are looking at each other terrified. Another voice says, "We told you to get out." So Jason says, "We are just here investigating. We are not here to hurt or disturb you guys." Then the loud train whistle goes off again, and all of a sudden the radio goes off. Jason calls back and says, "What is it?" They start yelling at them to get out of the tunnel. That train is coming again. So they start running back, except for one guy who is trying to get pictures of the apparitions. Then his camera was smacked out of his hand and slammed against the tunnel wall. And a voice yelled really loud, "Get out!" It echoed off the walls all the way to the front. It was so loud. They were mad that he wasn't listening to them. So the guy runs over to pick up his broken camera and start running to catch up with the others. But the apparition didn't want him to have that camera. As the guy was running, something tripped him, and he hit the ground pretty hard, and the camera went flying out of his hand. As he got up to go get it, the camera flew back down the tunnel into the dark. This time, the guy said, "Screw it, they can have it," and started running to the front. And when he gets there, the group tells him that we got all of your actions on night vision. So now they pick up all the call center and back get the cameras. They retrieve all except for one. It was right in the middle of the tunnel, and nobody wanted to go get it because there were still voices and noises down there. They just left it and packed up and went home. Thanks for listening to my story, and please tune in for the next one coming soon.